And now every day we're bringing you stories that are building a better Bay Area. And this story is doing just that. It's a story of forgiveness and courage. But before we get to it, let me take you back to July of 2023. Almost a year ago, we introduced you to Peterson Harder, the owner of Sandy's Muffaletas in San Francisco's Haight-Ashbury neighborhood. I interviewed Peterson after he was assaulted by a person who was urinating outside of his shop. Here's a glimpse of that story. Less than 24 hours ago, Peterson Harder was assaulted while closing the security gates of Sandy's, his sandwich shop.
I was in the process of closing, so I'm kind of like defenseless because my hands are here, and he just comes down and just like pops me like that. And that's why I have a hit from here down and chipped my tooth a little bit as well.
His black eye tells a story of frustration. His story now reaching thousands of people on social media. He says it all happened after he confronted a person urinating outside of his shop.
I just got punched in the face right now by some guy that was pissing on the street, and I'm really right now. I can't believe I live in a city where people can just on the street and come punch you in the face and get away with it. That is going to be the thing that scars me, is the fact that he's just like walked off, like no consequences.
And 10 days after that interview, police made an arrest. The suspect, 30-year-old Irvin Rivera. San Francisco police confirmed he was booked and had multiple warrants unrelated to that assault. He was in jail for several months. Now, fast forward to this week. Here's a photo that no one could have predicted. That is Peterson with Irvin. This photo was taken 24 hours ago outside of Sandy's. Peterson is here with us now. Peterson, thank you so much for being here with us.
Thank you, Luz.
Hey, seeing that photo of you with Irvin, it's incredible. You posted it on social media and said it was a full circle moment for you. Irvin stopped by your restaurant to say sorry. Take us back. What was going through your mind when you saw him walk inside your store, and did you recognize him?
I recognized him immediately. At first, I was definitely a little apprehensive just because I wasn't sure what his intentions were with being there. And he kind of motioned for me to come out and talk to him. And he was there to pretty much hash it out with me, talk about what had happened, what was going on. And it was just something I did not expect, but I'm so glad it happened.
Peterson, it took courage for Irvin to come to your restaurant to face you again, and also courage from you to actually forgive him. How did this happen? I mean, what was going through your mind when he was apologizing?
I mean, first off, I don't know if I would have the courage to do that. I've made a lot of mistakes in my life that I don't think I owned up to. So I think it shows a lot of his character and his rehabilitation. I mean, for me in my mind, this was a moment that I was really excited about and looking forward to.
Wow.
Yeah, it was just such an incredible moment and something I just never really expected, but I was so happy that actually happened.
You gave Irvin, you said that Irvin told you a little bit more about his life, and he basically explained to you what he was going through before that incident took place. What did he tell you?
Well, I think that's one of the things that really shocked me, is that a lot of times when something like this happens, nobody knows what's going on with the other person, and we're all humans, we all make mistakes. I mean, he's had a rough life growing up, and he was able to share some of those, I guess, situations or instances that had happened, and just gave me so much more clarity and understanding of like what was going on in his life. And like, I'll never be able to understand what has happened in his life, but I will be there to support him in everything moving forward. And it's like, if he needs somebody to lean on and something's going on, I'll be there for him. And it was just, it was a lot. And it makes me sad to know that somebody can have a life like that, and that I'll never understand that.
You know, it also speaks volumes about you, the fact that he felt comfortable after what he did to open up with you.
Yeah, I think that's part of the Sandy's community, is we've been transparent since the beginning of our sandwich shop. When we were pop-up days, we used to write emails and letting people know our mental health situations, where we're at. So for him to be able to come speak to me personally, is I was able to tell him, like, I actually gave him a big hug. You know, like, we exchanged numbers. I texted him yesterday just saying thank you for coming to the shop.
Wow.
And he texted me back today and said that, like, he hopes that we can be friends one day and hang out. And I honestly would love that. Yeah, I would really love that. I think that he and I come from really different backgrounds, and that it would give me such an insight to see where he's really coming from and the struggles that he's been. And, you know, I would love to share my struggles. They're going to be completely different. But at the end of the day, we each have our own struggles. And if we can kind of come together and actually talk about them, I think that we can make a lot of progress. And it was such a beautiful moment. And yeah, I just feel very fortunate that he would have the courage to come talk to me and that we can just hash it out. And hopefully a friendship will bloom from this.
I know you contemplated to visit him in jail. What were you going to say to him then, and did that change now?
I mean, I think for me, I was raised to forgive people. You know, I think everybody deserves a second chance and just to talk to him and find out why he did that and like what was going on in his life. And I'm glad I had the opportunity to actually just talk to him about it and see what was going on. And yeah, he's been through a lot and it takes a lot of courage to show up like that. And I'm so proud of him. And I really hope he is on the road to recovery and really getting his life together. And I'm just like so excited for him. I really am. And I hope everybody in the Sandy's community and the San Francisco community can rally around him too and just show that kind of support and realize that sometimes people need second chances.
That's incredible coming from you. And I love the fact that despite the trauma, the pain, and how visibly upset you were when I interviewed you a year ago, you're here saying, I forgive him, and the community needs to learn from this, right? How
Yeah.
did you get
I
to
mean,
that point?
I think that's just growing up. I've always given people second chances. I mean, people have given me second chances. So I think when you can see somebody have the empathy for you, it's a lot easier to have empathy for somebody else. And that's just, once again, the way I was raised. And I think I wish more people would be that forgiving and just understanding because, like I said, we all have stuff going on every day of our lives. You don't know what's happening in somebody else's life. So sometimes it just takes conversation to figure out what is going on. And then I think we'll get a lot more clarity from just our community of what's happening. You know, I open up all the time about my mental health and struggles. And when I do that, I find that a lot of people come into the shop and will talk to us and just be more open with
I
me
love
because
that.
I'm vulnerable with them.
Oh, good job, Peterson. Thank you so much. Your heart is huge. And I'm so excited for Irvin and to see what life has ahead for him. You also mentioned that he is back in school, so we're rooting for him as well. Thank you for sharing your
Yeah.
story. Full circle
Thank
moment.
you so much.
Beautiful.